Yeah, yeah. Fun story. I can say that for Fire Emblem. When I actually first played Fire Emblem when I was 10 years old, and I had. Oh yeah, yeah. Thanks, Barry. I've been enjoying this game a lot. Oh, and thank you for the follow. Um, but yeah, as I was saying, so Fire Emblem is oh, I'm gonna have to change some of the stuff on my stream. Fire Emblem played it when I was 10 years old, and I had done some chores to save up for a game, and I was just curious. I went to the game store and I was like, maybe I should just get something. And lo and behold, I picked Fire Emblem and I fell in love with it. So I won't say I'm like a super diehard fan anymore, but yeah, yeah, Fire Emblem on your Nintendo Advanced SP. No way, no way. You have the original advanced version. That makes me happy. That's the one I'm talking about. It has Lindis and everything, and you still play it when you travel? Dude, it's such a good game. I don't think people realize just how legendary it is. Oh, wait, I know what I have to do here. Let me up. Okay, I gotta go up. Yeah, I remember. I remember the advanced FP. There are two Fire Emblem games on GBA. Well, so there's the original Fire Emblem, and then there's the with Lindis, Hector, and I almost said Roy, Elliewood. Um, but then there's the other one, which is Sacred Stones, I think, and that one's not so good. Elliewood stunk. No, yeah, Elliewood was pretty bad. My favorite character was actually to use Urk. Urk was pretty good, and Pent was actually surprisingly good too. I think no one really understood how good Pent was. Oh crap. Yeah. I liked using, like, all of the lords except for Elliewood were actually pretty good. These three lives entangle. That nabbit. Priscilla was by far the best magician in the game. Yeah. Oh, dude, they had so many broken characters. Raven was good if you raised him up eventually. Jafar. Jafar was broken. Oh, what? Jafar had the extra critical hit rate, plus he gave him a critical edge, and so he had a critical hit rate of like 70%. It was insane. The only problem was you had to upgrade her by only healing people. Took forever. Jafar was insane. So was Guy. Yeah. Yeah, well, I think that was a flaw of the game. Healers took forever to raise up. So. But sometimes the strategy was literally like to go in a level and then just literally just sit and heal person by one per damage over and over just for the experience. Like, you'd have some levels just lasting 100 turns just because you're trying to raise up healers. Yep, Lydia was fun. I even remember I used General Wallace one time, and he was actually pretty good. He wasn't the best. Oh, by the way, I will swear to my dying day, I have dodged a critical hit before. I remember the event. It was Urk. He was a sage. It was late game. It was a paladin using a spear. And I was like, oh crap. I don't want to have to restart this level. And I remember because of how much terror I was in. And I remember because of just how much ecstasy I felt when I dodged the critical hit. Oh, oh my gosh. Loot was Sacred Stones? Yeah, Luke was Sacred Stones. Loot was okay. Loot wasn't the best. Sacred Stones was like the opposite. Sacred Stones didn't have a lot of good characters. Yes, I know. It sounds so impossible, but I swear it happened to me. And no one can look. I get why people would think I'm crazy. I think why people would think I'm crazy, but I swear it happened. I will die on that hill. I will put that on my tombstone. I dodged a critical hit in Fire Emblem Blazing Sword. No, no. Sacred Stones has Joshua. He wears a hat.
A traveler who seems to know the way
Joshua's
is
lame.
forever led astray. I can enlighten you if you wish. I can light your way through some of Mount Calf's darkest corners, if you'll allow me.
How could I refuse?
I'm not afraid of the dark.
I can get a hat. What would you do if I got a hat? Would you subscribe if I got a hat? Doesn't matter the kind of hat. You're not. He doesn't look. I don't. People don't have to be subbed. I don't want people to feel obligated to sub. I do this mostly as a pastime and a hobby. I will only care about subs if this becomes a job. You would deploy me as a Myrmidon? My favorite. Look, oh, that's if I got a hat. No, my favorite class was always the mercenary to hero class. I don't know why, but they always seemed they were pretty good dodge tanks, and they hit pretty heavy. I say that I'll say they were pretty even compared to the Swordmaster class in Blazing Sword. They were a little bit more consistent. Swordmasters had higher speed, but they also relied a lot on critical hits. So they just had a lot of good characters. 1 second. What was I thinking about? Alright. Well, your favorite is the Witch from Fates? Oh. Look, Fates is good. Okay. Fates, we need to talk about. As I was saying, Fates is almost an amazing game. I just can't get behind how ridiculous the story is. It's the one with Corn, right? So you have Fates, so you have the 3 stories. Fates, Rebirth, which is Rebirth is the combined, and then Conquest. And so I played Rebirth. I played Fates and Conquest, which were both pretty good, but the stories of them just don't make sense. And then I tried playing Rebirth, and look, I don't usually play games for story, but I have found that if the story if the story doesn't make sense enough, it actually kills my enjoyment of the game. And so when I tried to play Rebirth, and I got to like level 5, and it got to a point where Corrin was like, there's this mystical, magical land that we can't talk about, but if we talk about it, then something bad will happen, even though we don't know what will happen. So just trying to recruit both of your family members in that fashion was just weird. So, um, but again, the gameplay was fun. So, like, Fates was more classic, and Conquest had a lot of fun story beats. I will say, I think what Fates.
To enlighten you
Ooh, I
as
got a
promised.
helper guide. Fates and Conquest, I think their biggest issues is that they try to make both happy-go-lucky stories. I think Fates is okay, like being a classic, like with the Hoshido, right? That was that was technically better. Oh, it's Birthright and Conquest. Okay, thank you. So replace Fates with Birthright. Thank you, Pexa. But then, as I was saying, so if they actually stuck with the like good and evil aspects, where in Birthright you chose the good path, and in Conquest they like you actually were you chose the evil path. I think it would have been more interesting and more engaging, um, and just more fun overall. Because Birthright wasn't bad; it was just very plain. But when you compare Birthright against Conquest, where Conquest they have to jump so many sharks to make it so that you seem like a good guy, despite being raised by an evil maniacal madman, and their family is all kind of twisted because they're all raised by an evil maniacal madman, and yet somehow you're not the evil maniacal one, even though that's like your entire family story. It the amount of hoops they have to jump in Conquest just throws a lot of it off. So, but and so when they get into Rebirth, when Corrin is trying um, to get both sides to join you, like the amount of hoops is just like it was like too many. I was like, okay, I can't get through this. And the worst character out of all of it was Tatsumaki. I hated Tatsumaki. Tatsumaki was just angry and evil. He did. Oh, why? 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 But okay, there was my rant. Revelation. Thank you again. Replace every time I said Rebirth with Revelation. Oh, wow. Okay. Conquest was structured like the classic games. Birthright was the modern one. Do I have it backwards? Okay, so wait. No, Conquest was the evil side. Birthright was the good side. Isn't that right? Do I have that right? I gotta look this up real quick. Conquest is the evil side. Yeah, Conquest had the more engaging stories, or not stories, but levels, if I remember right. Oh, all right. Birthright had playable Sakura, which made it a better game. Sakura wasn't. Sakura is not bad. Yes, but Birthright also had Tatsumaki, who was literally the worst character in all three lines. I hate Tatsumaki so much in that game. Because they randomly made. He has no reason to be as angry as he is. They randomly made him the evil guy. Oh. Oh. It's just. Oh my. Birthright let you pick your levels to do side missions. No, but it was more just it's more just the way that the levels were structured and designed. I think Conquest was the one where the levels, like, where's the level where you had There was one stage I remember where if you stepped on a tile, it actually blew your characters across to the other side of the map. So yeah, like for me, the side missions, bonus content, that's like whatever. But the main game is really the more important part. What am I doing? What? Birthright. Birthright did have more interesting goals, but it was also the much easier game. The general fan base considers Conquest to be a tier above Birthright, and I'd agree. Okay, so maybe I got it. Maybe I got it backwards. If I remember right, one side had the better levels but the worst story, but one side had, I guess, yeah. The only pro tag worse than Corn is Byleth. Ooh. Look, I tried so hard to like that game. 3 houses. First off, I'm not a huge lover of like daily task games. I like just doing stuff. It's why like I'm not a big lover of Animal Crossing. So I'm like, okay, I have to get through this stuff. And then alright, Arclight, I'll watch it. Give me a sec. But anyway, and then the levels, like, oh, the story that I couldn't even get through the first route. I couldn't get through the first route. I was so bad. The story was thrown off so much. Yeah, I still need to play Engage. And depending on how intensive I stream, I guess, will depend on how much I get to that. You mean Colgate Yes, the Colgate protagonist. That is what that is. And Engage both ruined Anna, so thumbs down. What are your thoughts on Anna in Fire Emblem Heroes? She wields an axe. She looks like Anna but does not act like her. Well, I mean, she's an alternate version of Anna. Like,